So, without further ado, let's make welcome our highly esteemed Mr. Fortune Ikechi to take the floor and show us how you can get tech roles, especially the junior ones. So, Mr. Fortune, let's have you. Can you hear me, Mr. Fortune?
Yeah, can everybody hear me? Hi,
Yeah,
can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Okay. I don't know which one is using the mic, but it's my audio. Anyway, that was too hype. Thank you very much. So, hi. That was way too hype, I think.
It's not about hype. Okay, all right.
Hello, everyone. Let me just say hi, or make an emoji or something. I don't know how Telegram video works. Funny enough.
Okay, I don't know if it's me, but your voice is a bit.
I think you can hear me.
Not so clear.
No?
Yeah, I can hear you, but
it's...
I can talk.
Okay. If you can hear me,
let me change the microphone. Okay, can you hear me well now?
Oh yeah, I think it's better. Way better.
Okay. Yeah, I think I just switched the microphones. Cool. Okay. So my name is Fortune Ikechi, and I'm a DevRel engineer at a company called Storyblock. We are a headless CMS for the next generation or the next future. And apparently, what I do mostly revolves around writing articles for the company on how to use our product for developers. And I also do a lot of speaking engagements on the company and other stuff. Before then, I was working as a software engineer full-time and technical writer, basically someone who writes articles about technical stuff and coding and all that. And sometime last year, I and my friends, we had this really cool DAO that we created for the Near blockchain, where we worked on writing articles and building demo projects for the Near blockchain. It was really good, fun stuff. I mean, we got funded and everything until we all got jobs and decided to focus on our jobs. And today, I will be talking on how to get tech roles, especially junior roles. Now, please, if you have any question, it's an open floor. That I just text on the Telegram group chat, or you can just like highlight or say hi or something. Did everybody get that?
Yeah, sure. Okay, okay, I'm going to ask you the questions one after the other. This one I sent to you and then extra. So take it that way.
Yeah, sure. Okay, fun.
All right.
Yeah, fun.
Okay. So, what are tech jobs? Is it for everyone?
Yeah, so you know how I just said I'm a software engineer and technical writer, and I'm sure a lot of people are like, I mean, he's doing coding. I don't know what that is. It's maths and all those weird things people say. So apparently, or to be very honest, tech jobs are actually for everybody. If you're working in the outside of tech, you can do something in tech. If you're a graphic designer, then well, you can work in tech as a product designer or even a graphic designer. If you write articles for blockchain folks, you can actually work in tech as a blockchain writer or a technical writer. If you write code outside of there, or you can do all this fun stuff. Everything you do in tech, customer service, customer success, these are like big roles in tech. And the thing about tech is that it's actually it has a low entry level. You just learn a particular skill. I mean, it's not like as easy as I say it is, but like I said, it's everyone. Not as easy as everybody thinks it is, but it's actually for everybody.
Okay. That's cool. That's really super cool. Maybe I might consider going to technical writing. Maybe just maybe.
Yeah.
So, how your first tech resume? What did it look like? Like, the first time you ventured into trying to get roles in tech. What did it look like?
Empty. Okay, so so I don't know. There's this video that has been going around that's really funny, where this Indian man is saying empty, like his account balance is empty. If you look at the E and the M, it's empty. If you remove the M, it's still empty. Yeah, it was actually very empty. Now the thing is, because you had no experience, what I basically had then, had this word, was basically a couple of projects that we built using courses I learned in the hostel. Yeah, so the courses was like, you know how you buy tech courses and they build a project to help you further learn stuff about that whole concept. That's actually what I had. But then I added a few more features to it. This course then was like a to-do list. So I added, okay, if it's a to-do list, you can now be able to sign into your own to-do, making it a more private to-do. You can save all your to-dos on your local browser. You know, these are like simple features. But then I did not really have a resume because they're like, I knew almost next to nothing. So the only thing I had then to go forward was either talking about what I do on Twitter or talking to friends or a community of people here who do the same thing and telling them, hey, I can work with this. I mean, they wouldn't require you to send the resume, but then they give you the opportunity to at least start somewhere.
Okay. That's a good one. So it's looking for places where you can start in experience without necessarily needing a resume or where you can contribute, right?
Yeah. So I really have to point out that, so I wouldn't say when I was in school because I'm still in school, so let me just stop. But basically, all I'm saying here will revolve around my own story because I can't speak for other people in the tech industry. But then I also believe that I've literally come all the way from the bottom, I guess. Yeah. And then when it comes to writing, like I did a lot of coding and then I went into writing full time because there's a lot of money to write and I needed money as a student back to back. I mean, I still need money as a student now, but then I needed like a lot of money, buying books, year one and all those things. And then one of the people I wrote for was, the lady asking me the questions, and I don't mention her, she's a big person. I'm not worthy, but you get the idea. So that alone was a starter. Now, when next I had to interview with other people, I just told them, I have this article, you can just like have a look, but you're not allowed to take too much look because I have an NDA backing it. Now, that was like a low tech thing that I did not really require a lot of experience because I had to tell her like, okay, I can write more, just test me this one time, but you get. So that's something that anyone can do, literally. Find a place to get started, to work, to gain experience. Because the ones you're looking for that pay the high amounts need a lot of experience. But the ones that are like the bottom tier jobs, you don't necessarily need a lot of experience, but they are good for the next big thing you want out there. You get. And then most people actually willing to take a chance on you once you show a lot of commitment and knowledge on something, at least basic knowledge on something.
Yeah. I really like this part of like this, everything you just said now, because over time, I keep on emphasizing for people to start from somewhere. If you want something that's going to pay you a lot of money and you don't have the experience, you have to start from somewhere that is not paying you so much money, or you not even pay you at all. So, but then it helps you to build up to get to that point where you can actually get the kind of job you desire or can pay you as much as you really want. So I really like your experience, like something everyone can learn from. So on to the next question. So choosing tech jobs, what should be one's major considerations? Like, what are the major things to check or to consider when you want to choose a job to apply
for? I would say, what exactly do you want? You get. So when I started, my focus then was mostly on learning. I wanted to just learn stuff. Like my focus was like I want to just learn enough to get money. You get. I needed a lot of money. I would say. I mean, I'm at a point where I'm more comfortable making decisions now. I have to figure out, okay, does it work on that what I want in the near future? How does it revolve around what I want for myself? What do I stand to gain? What do I stand to lose? You get. But then when I started, I just wanted to just like eat good food in the hostel, eat good bread. Like that was just what I needed. Now that alone actually helped me focus mostly on getting jobs that can pay fast and does not require a lot of time. I could literally write 3 articles right now, and in the next 2-3 hours I've already been paid because that's like my focus. So what you want revolves around like the kind of things you begin to go for, the kind of decisions you make concerning getting jobs around tech. For someone out there, they want to learn product design and in 6 months start making money from it. For someone out there, they want to take their whole time, take the next 1 year and learning the core concepts of this whole thing before deciding, okay, I want to start making money now. That will change how they learn things, how they manage their time, how they manage the way they look at jobs and every other thing. I don't even understand. So.
Yeah, I do. I totally do understand. And the beauty part of this is that I like the fact that our guest speaker today, is like an undergraduate. So it's not something like any other person can't work towards or can't achieve. And just like he said, what you're working towards, like what is your goal, knowing what exactly you want would actually help you to know what to go for, So yeah, totally clear. So another question
Yeah,
here
yeah.
is okay.
Yeah. So
So
I
another
just wanted to
question.
say, like,
Okay,
yeah, sure. Continue, please.
okay. So what challenges did you encounter and overcome over time in the tech industry? Were there challenges when you like, okay, this is where I want to face? Because I know you're right now you're like core technical writer, but there's still that part of you that would do a lot of coding. I remember you building an app or so at one point.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, so what were the challenges you encountered and how did you overcome them?
Okay. So the thing about tech is that it has a low entry. What's the word? It has a
Like
low entry curve. Yes. Yeah, like just like very easy, to just like sink into tech real quick. Another thing that once you start doing anything about tech, automatically all your friends and the people you meet are just techies. I don't know how it happens. You be like, okay, I'm start learning coding now. All of a sudden your tweets, your everything revolves around that particular concept. You begin to lose a lot of friends and you get more tech folks. You begin to do some boring things that they all do.
yeah.
You get. So right now, I work as a developer engineer, like I said, more like developer advocate. My job in my team revolves around documentations. You get I have to write a lot of documentation, which is currently kind of like technical writing. On some days, I just wake up and I'm like, okay, I want to code today. Like last night, I want to write something on code, just test run a few things. But then it's really fun to talk about it now and be like, hey, I earned this amount, 7 figures, those fun stuff. But then the more challenge is hard when you start because you're coming from a place where you've not actually been. The first challenge revolves around meeting people. That's the first thing. Meeting people who do the same thing. When I started, your stuff. I lived in a place where I was the only one carrying a laptop, and they kept like bullying me because of that. And that was like in 2018. So meeting people is always the first thing. And like I always say, now with advent of Twitter, Telegram, WhatsApp, you can literally meet anyone. Like, you could be somewhere in Kaduna and join a community of student developers here in Port Harcourt. You understand? So you can just tweet, oh, hello everyone, I'm learning front end. By following around like random techies, just search developer something, like front end developer, follow a couple of folks around, and just like Twitter algorithm does the rest for you, literally. But then I wasn't very active on this platform. So meeting people was a big deal. The second thing was money to buy resources. Tech is like low entry, doesn't mean the courses are cheap. Now you can actually find courses on Udemy for $10 or $5 or even free on sometimes, like some promo times like free of charge. But then finding courses then was crazy tough because I now have 5K to buy a course. So finding courses was a big deal. And being a student then who just joined school, there's always this expense that comes up with things you need to buy and all those big things. The last time I tried to finally buy a course that I needed, I had a carryover because I could not buy the textbook. So then Saturday was like, courses were a big deal. Then, which is why I said, you have to define what you wanted. I could have and then another thing was managing your time. I was a student of 100 level then, so I had to start doing a lot of, was it going to classes, was it this one? You get times of the essence and you need sleep as a human being. So meeting people, time management, money for resources, getting a laptop too was very, very tough. I was lucky after a while, but then for someone who doesn't have, you need a laptop for getting any tech skill at the most, at least getting really good at it. So I think these are the challenges I faced. Yeah, and then also the last challenge was when I finally started getting a bit of skill was how do I let people take a chance on me? If you're writing code, that's a front end. If you're building apps or doing graphic design, how do I convince the client who I wanted to take a chance on me? If it's the client, then just know that the client has someone they're already working with. Do you understand? So how do I convince that client to like, okay, leave the person you're doing. I'll do it not only better but cheaper because everybody wants to save money at some point. How do I do it better and like cheaper? So that was the biggest challenge of them all. After I got the set skills. So yeah, I think these are the challenges I face are like noteworthy. Yeah.
Okay. So how did you overcome them? How did you overcome these challenges? How did you move from where you were with all those challenges? And then, I get the part, you touched the part of how like meeting people eventually you were able to start leveraging on all these social platforms. What about the rest, like the funds part, the resources part, you know?
Okay. So like I said before, I was going to be like entirely 100% honest, and you may not like things I say, but that is my truth. So, well, you have to listen. But then, the first part was resources. Honestly, I begged a lot of my friends, a lot of older people I had around me, including the person asking me these questions right now. Actually begged her a lot for money to buy resources. And I did this scale of preference thing where I had to choose between using the money I had as a student with buying courses, or using it to buy the things I was told to buy them, like textbooks and all that. And feeding too. I mean, I had to use a lot of my money to buy, like, money for food, to buy courses and eat a lot of bread. You get, so that's the first way I actually manage this resources. And then asking people like all the time, hey, Alpha, I need to do this thing. Can you help me like 1K, 2K? I'd like 3 people I'll listen and this customized text message to send me 2K. It was crazy, but it always worked. I mean, 2K was almost small for these our big madams then. So by sending them 3, you have like 6K all of a sudden. Buy a course of 4,500 and buy data of 1.5. That's how like it went a lot of the time for me then. But when I finally like got a bit active on Twitter, I started managing those platforms. Be like, hi, does anyone have a cracked version of this course? And people would be like, no, don't do that. Let me buy the course for you. I'd be like, thank you, Jesus. Yet, and wow. For the community part, I started asking around my school for any developer community around school, and that is where I met most of the people who actually gave me a chance on building applications with them as a group, yes, and as a company. Like most of the people I met who gave me my first jobs were in the community. So you can always like ask around the place, like anybody who has a community on what you're actually doing in tech. So that's a big way of actually getting there. And joining a community is actually good. Apart from getting motivated by meeting other people, you actually leverage on those people. I mean, you get to ask a lot of questions. Already, number of people who are ready to answer your questions is a big deal because you have a lot of questions starting out. Yes, I mean, Google is your best friend, yeah, but a practical example or a practical knowledge on something can never be the same as Google. You understand?
Yeah.
So, yeah, because that's it.
Oh, wow. Even as I am, I'm actually like picking out of tips from you right now. Well, that's a good one. I really hope we're following and we're really like inspired. When there's always a process to everything. Of course, your story might not be like his own, but there are one or two things you can pick. So that's that desire to pull through, irrespective of what the circumstances are looking like, or what's actually looked at. Know that every effort you're putting in is going to definitely yield results. It might not be now, it might be in a year or 2 years time, but then most definitely you get your results. So personally, I'm inspired, and I hope you are inspired too. So we have 9 minutes to go. So a couple of more questions. I think you've touched this as a beginner with that experience. How can one grow and strive in tech world? I think you've touched this a bit while you were talking. And so now you are into crypto too, right? I think you ventured into crypto too. I think you've have.
Yeah, I did. I have.
What's it like to be a tech person?
I still do.
Okay.
So Web3 is like way easier than. I feel like Web3 is like a lot more easier than Web2. Web2 is like what I do currently, like the normal web. I mean, wait, what am I even saying? These are like all Web3 bosses here. But yeah, Web3 is like easier. So once you decide you want to do something in Web3 and you begin to go to a lot of platforms, talk about it a lot, make a lot of noise, that's it. Like, it's like someone just like DMs and be like, hey, I would like you to do this, that. Are you interested in this? And Web3 is so easier because like a lot of people actually pay you to learn stuff. They understand that the technology is still new, relatively new. There's not a lot of experts in the community, and then those experts are either very expensive. So a lot of people actually betting on you to learn about their platform. For example, Near. So when I was applying for jobs, after a while of working contracts, a lot of people wanted to apply for full-time contracts. So I started applying for a lot of jobs, including technical writer positions in blockchain companies, software positions, like software engineering positions, you get. And so I applied to Near, and they rejected me point back. So when they finally employed this new guy, he just went through the old applications that they had before on specific positions, and he reached out. He's like, "Hey, I'm so and so person. I think it's So he's actually the head of education, director of education at NER. So he reached out like, hey, would you mind writing articles for NER, teaching people about NER? I'm like, yeah, sure. So he drops the first. We went through a lot of meetings and everything, and he drops the first stacks. Write article on this, use this, learn about NER, do this. And then I went into it. I'm like, wait, this is very much, that's the number of traits. It's actually very much different from what you're used to. If you're writing content for, a normal blog, Opera, and the rest, then it's way different when you join Web3. Web3 is like a whole lot of stuff. You have to imagine that you have to actually be like a teacher. Like, I did this is how to do it. This is where I kept it. You can learn more about this. That's how Web3 works. But on the other side, is like, okay, I did this small share, but you can learn about it here. This is how you can do this, do that. It gets like a lot of noise, but Web3 is actually to the point. Learn about NER. This is what NER does. This is what NER does. This is how to work with NER. This is how to write smart contract on NER. Well, you can design your applications using NER, this one, that one. Almost very straight to the point. So, and then he reached out. I'm doing the job. I'm struggling with it. It's a whole new, whole new era or sector. So I'm like, okay, I now to the man, okay, yeah, sure. I can do this, but I think it's prefer if we can do it this way. I can invite two of my friends and we could create something of a company. And then the three of us is just core focused on doing this particular job for you. He said, yeah, sure. I'll pay you guys differently. Of course, I said, yeah. We go by a meeting, we drop how much per hour. He's like, he just agrees because, like he says, the ecosystem has a lot of money. We're traders, they like a lot of money. Like they devoted enough money to betting on programs like this, right? So Web3 doesn't mind taking a chance on you, experimenting with it. Because now there's no default way of doing anything in that sector or in that field. So they don't mind taking chances, which makes it way more, like I said, way more easier to like dive into. So, well, we are at it. We're, going at it. 3 people working on learning there, working with this on that one, getting paid even when we don't do anything because we're trying to also find jobs. Yeah, that's another thing too. At the end of the day, we knew it was just something we needed to do at the time to learn about a particular program. Two of my friends went into crypto full time. I went into Web2. I'm still learning something on blockchain, but I went into Web2 full time. So you get I think that's actually how we started. Grats DAO made over like 15K in funding in net coins over 2-3 months. No? Okay, 3-4 months. Yeah. And there's like a lot of bonuses attached to everything you get. So that's the thing. Or like I said, if you decide to dive into Web3, just define where you want to go into. Define a particular blockchain or chain, or a particular sector in Web3 you want to go. If it's smart contracts, with what language, with what chain, these are like important steps. There's a lot of Web3. Web3 is like a concept for a particular field. People who deal on blockchain stuff, right? But then the blockchain, there's Ethereum, there's Sol, there's NER. These are a lot of people. You want to focus on, okay, I want to be the expert on smart contracts. With what? Is it Rust? Is it Golang? Okay, these languages, yeah, sure. What chain are you writing on? Okay, I'm writing on Sol. Focusing on Sol, focusing on NER. That's how to be that's actually like how to make it in that field like way more easily. Then if I actually decide on which chain, get certified by that chain. Because my friend who is working for NER in organization that's built on NER right now, he just got certified on NER, certified developer, and then that's how he got into it. The same to my other friend too. So you get certified by that chain. It gives you this form of accreditation that you need. And like I said, there's not a lot of people in that field. So they also want to form, okay, let's just believe that you know how to do it. You can learn the rest and just work with us. You understand?
Yeah.
So that's what I would suggest for anyone out there.
Okay. Wow. That's really, really, let's say, bullet pointed. So, like he said, I believe we're going to go back to this video and really listen to the recording again and make our notes, because the point of this class is that we can learn from people who are already in these things and then apply these things and get our own results. Because truth is, I believe in replicating or modeling what other people have done. That way, it helps you to, get closer to your goals faster. So, I think one more question before we call it a night. So what are the resources you can share? Like, are there like, I know you've mentioned communities. Are there specific communities you can advise anyone to join that can help them? Maybe you can help drop it for us in the community.
Yeah, sure. That like depends, like I said. So I'm going to drop. So I'm going to drop a couple of grants by specific blockchains. Hold up. and ways of like learning more about the chain. Okay. So let me start with this one.
Okay, and also resources
So
like
everything.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to drop resources around what I do, which involves software engineering and and technical writing in the blockchain space.
Okay.
So let me start with this. Hold up, this is still loading. I don't know what's going on with my internet, but okay, it's working now. Okay, for learning on Ethereum chain.
Okay.
I'm still coming.
Okay. So everyone else is dropping this links, and let's make sure we'll look into it. As if we heard from him, tech is low entry. Like low entry means it's easier to get into. It's not as crowded because there are a lot of learning going on, and especially like Web3. Nobody's like an expert yet. It's a lot of test run going on. So we should look into this. He's a tech writer in the the tech writer, and this means you can also be a tech writer. So if you're a writer, look out for industries like this or sectors like the spaces like this, whereby it's easy for you to get into. But now, just like he has pointed out, there's so many things that you can build on along the way, and then it makes it easier for you to get to that job or get to the, will I say, 6 figures, 7 figures that you're looking at. Okay. These are great resources. So I'm going to mark. So none of you should be afraid of trying out things in tech. You don't have to get stuck in non-tech areas. I think tech is really interesting. I used to stay away, but right now I think I'm super duper interested in tech. Okay. Thank you. Oh, wow. This is. Do you have more you still send in? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm just gonna send a tweet about grants.
Okay.
Yeah, you can just continue, Sha.
Okay, fine. I believe you're still here briefly, just so that we can just round up. We can drop other, other resources that we need and other links and all of that. So, I really want to appreciate you, Mr. Fortune. Now you're almost like my boss now in these areas.
I know nothing more.
Yeah, what's one person I've watched literally grow, from when I got to know you to now, I've watched you grow, and it's something to be proud of, to see, and it's something that to inspire others too. So everyone, I believe we've learned a thing or two. Is there any closing remarks you want to give us, Mr. Fortune?
Yeah, so how I say this? So basically, I don't know, I like to say that it's not everybody that work in tech, but my children will start learning how to code sharp because no time. I don't know because everyone likes to say there's not everybody that work tech, but actually tech. Come on, what are you saying? It's just like hypocrisy, yeah. But what I'll say is, if you decide you want to venture into tech as your career for the next time being, it's okay to feel like not everybody going into tech. However, I also like to believe that most people I know, and more than any doctor in Nigeria, unless you have your own private practice, if you decide to try to specialize, try to join a community, try to get certified. But whatever you do, also have something that you can be doing on the side while learning tech that will probably give you money, because if you don't, you can't really offer there or have someone that is your sponsor, something like that. I mean, I had like people like Miss Victoria. I had to like run on to all the time to ask for Gen 2K as a student. But I need to try it again. You get, by having this, it gives you more time to focus on what's important, which in this case is your career, which is tech. But you're actually like venturing into switching careers is extremely tough as it is, especially in this part of the world. But by having this, you get to focus on what's important. You get to move faster. That's the word. You get to move faster. Yes, and another thing is that a lot of actually willing to take a chance on you. Like a lot of people are willing, like a lot of people are begging to take a chance on you. But you just have to say a lot of commitments. You have to show them you're so what's their time. I mean, it's not like, and also at the end of the day, try to have this mindset of they are investing in you for you to invest in other people. I actually don't like selfish people because it makes you not to see the bigger picture. But then if you see yourself as, I need to do this not just for myself, but so that any other person out there can benefit from me. I get to like help someone else out there. It gives you this kind of a burden, but also a vision of where you want yourself to be. I mean, if you want to help someone, you have to be really, really comfortable. I mean, 3x comfortable for you to do that. So that vision alone can also be a good fighter for when you feel down on some days, which you will. I guess that's that.
Okay. Thank you. I really like the part where you said, you don't like selfish people, because it's all about the more you learn, the more you get better. You want to like help other people also get better. So the value chain continues. So thank you, Mr. Fortune. Like, it was really a pleasure having you in the community tonight. Thank you. So everyone, what do we say to Mr. Fortune? It's really been amazing having him. So let's thank him as we close.
I think you've thanked enough at this point. Like, that's way too much hype. Thank you.
All right, everybody. Okay, so this is where we call it a close, and wait for the recording before midnight. I'll put it out so you can all listen and go over it again and make our notes over and over again. We look forward to having you again, Mr. Fortune, sometime in the future. Maybe when we're all blue. I wish thank you.
God, I beg. Me too, I need to go. Anyway, thanks everyone. Bye.
Bye.